Hello everyone! Welcome back to Pokexplanations. Yes, Pokexplanations, the show where I talk about how our world would be if Pokemon really existed. Today's Pokemon of interest will be Yamask and Confagrigus. Let's begin. Our first subject, the great and mysterious Yamask. So let us begin first with its descriptions. Pokemon Black version. Each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. White version. These Pokemon arose from the spirits of people interred in graves in past ages. Each retains memories of its former life. Bulbapedia. If someone wears the mask a Yamask carries, they will become possessed by the Yamask in it. They are known to wander the ruins of ancient civilizations. Alright, so first things first, as we read in the Pokemon Black description, these Pokemon were once human. And as we read in the Pokemon White description, these Pokemon were humans that could afford to be buried. This is the first literal ghost type Pokemon. These are people. A Yamask is what the Pokemon series has been talking about when it says souls. So this is what Lampent catches. This is what Chandelure burns. This is what Dusknoir brings back to Giratina. These Pokemon are spirits of us. Point I'd like to bring up, if we may step back into the great ancient Egyptians and their religions, is the Egyptian Ba. The Ba is a bird-like creature with a human head. It is said to fly out of the tomb the moment a person is buried. Now I bring up the Egyptian Ba for two reasons. The first being that it's very obvious that Yamask is based off of the Egyptian Ba. It is a person's spirit carrying around itself, pretty much. The reason being that the Egyptian Ba figure is said to be half of the person. It is their soul, and it wanders aimlessly trying to find the other half of it, the Za, its body. Now, I make this point because Yamask is said to be wandering around ancient ruins. It wanders these ruins aimlessly, but I don't think quite as aimlessly as the descriptions say. I think that since Yamask is the Ba, it's got to be looking for the Za, its body, to reattach itself. Now the semi-final point I'd like to make about Yamask is its mask in general. We learned from the Bulbapedia information that the dark part of Yamask, the black figure that encompasses the Pokemon, is not the Pokemon itself. The Pokemon itself is that mask. The figure we see is its manifestation. So Yamask is the mask. And the final point I'd like to make about Yamask is just not really a fact about the Pokemon in general, but about its name in our English and Japanese translations of it. In English, its name translates to Dark Mask. Ya-Mask. Dark Mask. Its Japanese name, Desumasu, translates to Death Mask. Not particularly about the Pokemon itself, but I found it interesting and I thought you guys might like to know that. So now we move on to Confagrigus. Pokemon Black. It has been said that they swallow those who get too close and turn them into mummies. They like to eat gold nuggets. Pokemon White version. They pretend to be elaborate coffins to teach lessons to grave robbers. Their bodies are covered in pure gold. Bulbapedia. A simply designed face is prominent on the forehead of the Pokemon, similar to that which its pre-evolution carries. Its real face is covered up by parts that slide out of the way when it is active. They live in tombs and ruins, able to turn Pokemon into mummies passively. So essentially, we know that this Pokemon is an armored up version of Yamask. We can gather that it evolves by eating gold. The gold goes into its mask, into the actual Pokemon that is Yamask, and is stored until it reaches level 34. Yamask did not say it had any special abilities, but apparently in its evolution it acquired some, and quite nasty ones if you ask me. Confagrigus is essentially able to zombify other Pokemon. As we read in the Bulbapedia description of this Pokemon, it is essentially able to turn other Pokemon into zombies. We know that this is a very passive ability, and by passive I would imagine it means if other Pokemon stay around it too long, the ability will affect them, and I don't think Confagrigus will eat Pokemon the same way it will Grave Robber. This mummification ability works on people as well, I read. This mummification ability, once it completes its process, gives the other Pokemon that it's just made a mummy the ability to do the same thing with other Pokemon. That's a very dangerous ability, and I've also read that it works on humans as well. Now, I'd like to talk for just a minute about its gold body, because while I agree with it, I also disagree with it. Confagrigus, if you read on the Pokedex of Black and White, any Pokemon website out there, any resource, look it up, prove me wrong if you think I am, is 5'7" or 5'8". That is 5 feet 7 inches, 5 feet 8 inches. Its body is said to be not entirely made of gold, but at least laced with it. That's all fine and good. I like the fact that this Pokemon is at least human-sized. It makes it feel more like a sarcophagus. But its weight is really what does it in its description. This Pokemon is only 198 pounds. Now, I did do some research on this because I didn't think it sounded quite right. I knew gold was a little bit heavier than that, and it turns out I was right. This 5'8" Pokemon could not be 198 pounds. Exactly one 7-inch long, 1-inch tall gold bar is 30 pounds. I knew gold was a lot heavier than that, and a 5'7" Pokemon using that same logic, even if it is just its fancy outer lining and the actual Pokemon exists inside it, or that the mask on its forehead, the emblem on its forehead, as with Yamask. This logic can of course be ruled out though if we look at the ghostly aura around it and assume at the time of it being weighed, if we assume that ghostly aura was active at the time of weighing it, the Pokemon was probably making itself lighter and levitating, as we've all seen it do in the Pokemon games. It seems to me you would have to weigh a dormant Confagrigus to get an accurate weight on it, but I can imagine it's pretty hard to do considering the fact that it eats grave robbers. So, in conclusion, I don't think Yamask would have a very differing effect on our world. If Yamask existed, no, I can't see it affecting our world in the slightest. We would still have apparitions, we would still have ghosts, we would still have spirits. Yamask would not affect our world in the slightest. Now Confagrigus, on the other hand, would probably bring the zombie apocalypse with it, turning both people and Pokemon into its mummy minions. And they convert all of the other Pokemon and people into these mummies, and in turn they turn more people into mummies and Pokemon into mummies, and woo! World over! So, Yamask, no effect. Confagrigus, very bad effect. This episode was of course user submitted by these people here. Thank you very much guys for your submissions, and if you have a Pokemon you'd like me to talk about on the show, please do not hesitate to leave me a comment down below. If you enjoyed the show, I would greatly appreciate it if you click that little subscribe button up there and leave me a like and favorite. Just hit add to and scroll down to favorites. That would really help out the show and promote what I'm doing. I'd like to increase my viewership a little on the show. I want my opinions on the show to be challenged in the comments or in a video response. I want to hear your thoughts about them, and I'd like to get this show really moving along, because I really feel like it has potential, and I really hope you guys do too. So if you would, please copy the link above in your URL bar and post it to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Tumblr, just wherever that you can. Just show it off to people who you think might like it. Just post it anywhere, and let's get more people watching the show, because let's turn this show into something big. If we can manage to get more people watching the show by the end of January, which is just a few days, I believe, I will be making a super special, super in-depth episode for you guys. And just for a little hint towards what I'll be talking about, I will be discussing in depth, doing as much research as I can, making it as accurate as possible and as great as an episode as it ever could be. I will be discussing the franchise's most talked about evolutionary chain. So I know there are a lot of people who just realized what it was, and just copy that link and post it wherever you can. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the show again. Please subscribe, like, favorite, and comment if you have a suggestion. I greatly appreciate that. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.